Why quiet people are often misunderstood. Have you ever been called shy even when you simply preferred listening over talking? Have people ever assumed you were unfriendly, arrogant, or uninterested simply because you didn't say much? If so, you're not alone. Welcome back to Inside Vault, the place where we uncover the hidden psychology behind human behavior, relationships, and the choices that shape our lives. If you're fascinated by psychology and understanding what makes people think the way they do, subscribe to Inside Vault and join our growing community. Because every story holds a lesson, and every lesson begins with a single insight. Now, let's open the vault. Many people assume that quiet people are difficult to understand. But the truth is often the exact opposite. Quiet people are frequently observing more than everyone else in the room. They're simply not announcing every thought they have. And that's where the misunderstanding begins. One of the biggest reasons quiet people are misunderstood is because people naturally fill in the blanks. When someone talks a lot, we gather information about them quickly. We learn their opinions, their interests, their personality. But when someone remains quiet, people often start making assumptions. Some assume they're shy, others assume they're nervous. Some even assume they're rude. Yet none of those assumptions may be true. Silence doesn't automatically reveal personality. It simply reveals that someone chooses their words carefully. Another reason quiet people are misunderstood is because society often rewards those who speak the loudest. In school, outspoken students often receive attention. In meetings, confident speakers frequently stand out. On social media, the loudest voices often gain the most visibility. As a result, many people mistakenly believe that being vocal is the same as being confident. But confidence doesn't always speak loudly. Sometimes confidence listens. Sometimes confidence observes. Sometimes confidence remains silent because it doesn't feel the need to prove anything. Quiet people are often deep thinkers. Before speaking, they analyze. They consider different perspectives. They think about consequences, and they choose their words carefully. This can make them appear distant. But in reality, many quiet people are simply processing information more deeply than others realize. Have you ever noticed that some of the most insightful comments come from the person who has been silent for most of the conversation? That's because they've been listening, they've been observing, they've been thinking. And when they finally speak, their words often carry more weight. At Inside Vault, we believe one of the most underrated skills in modern society is listening. Everyone wants to be heard. Few people truly listen. Quiet individuals often possess that rare ability. Another common misunderstanding is that quiet people lack confidence. This assumption couldn't be further from the truth. Some quiet people are shy, but many are simply comfortable with silence. They don't feel pressure to fill every moment with conversation. They don't need constant validation. And they don't measure their value by how much attention they receive. True confidence isn't always about speaking more. Sometimes it's about needing less approval from others. Perhaps the biggest reason quiet people are misunderstood is because people often confuse silence with weakness. But silence can be strength. It takes discipline to listen when everyone else is talking. It takes patience to observe before reacting. And it takes confidence to be yourself in a world that constantly demands attention. The next time you meet someone who doesn't say much, don't assume they're shy. Don't assume they're unfriendly. And don't assume they're uninterested. You may be speaking to the most observant person in the room. You may be speaking to someone who notices details that others miss. You may be speaking to someone with wisdom they simply haven't chosen to share yet. And if you're one of those quiet people watching this video right now, remember this. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to have value. You don't have to dominate every conversation to be important. And you don't need to change who you are simply because others misunderstand you. Sometimes the people who speak the least understand the most. What do you think? Have you ever been misunderstood because you're quiet? Let us know in the comments below. At Inside Vault, we read every comment and love hearing your experiences. And if you enjoyed today's insight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. It helps Inside Vault continue creating content that explores the fascinating psychology behind human behavior. Thank you for watching, because every story holds a lesson, and every lesson begins with a single insight.